Techniques to divide the nuclei. This is a homemade video. The main producer of this film, Dr. Luis Escaf, is consultant and receives royalties from Alcon. Also received travel expense reimbursement from Alcon. The co-producer, Dr. Melo, have received travel expense reimbursement from Procaps. Since Dr. Charles Kellman described the fake emulsification, there has been changes in the nucleus fracture. It's universally accepted that fragmentation of the nucleus before emulsifying it reduces the ultrasound time, reduces the time of surgery, and also reduces the amount of fluids in the eye. This reflects in more transparent corneas and less loss of endothelial cells. There are many techniques described to divide the cataract: divide and conquer, chip and flip, stop and chop, among others. Afterwards, different types of choppers were developed. First, the Nakahara chopper, then the Akahoshi chopper. In 2005, Dr. Luis Escaf came up with the idea of converting a conventional phaco chip into an ultrasonic blade while watching cut turkey with an electric knife. So he took a phaco chip and thinned it at its end, shaping the first ultrasonic blade that later became the Ultra Chopper. The Ultra Chopper is adapted on the handpiece phaco machine, surrounded by a sleeve and leaving the distal end free. Thanks to its measures and its ergonomics, it makes it impossible to tear the posterior capsule. The Ultra Chopper can split the cataract, resembling a hot knife cutting through a stick of butter or chocolate. This is the first prototype design of handmade Ultra Chopper making a deep groove. There are different ways to use it, according to the skill and experience of the surgeon. It can be used as divide and conquer with the help of a divisor or mechanic rechopper. This for up to 3.5 plus cataracts following Locke's classification. For harder cataracts, 4 plus and up, extremely hard or black, it can be used with a sustainer, allowing fracture in a very precise, effective, and safe way in 4 to 6 pieces. In the last 7 years, the ultrasonic blade has been used by Dr. Escaf and his working group in more than 10,000 surgeries. Trainees also improve their learning curve with this instrument as it facilitates the fracture. Dr. Alan Crandall, in 2011 Oscars winning Best Film, showed in a Miyake study that the sonus suffered no stress when the cataract was fragmented with the Ultra Chopper. It is recommended before using the Ultra Chopper that the surgeon has experience in phaco emulsification, because if used improperly, it can burn the incision, injure the iris, or damage the rim of the capsular rexus. The Ultra Chopper can also be used in a safe and effective way with the nucleus sustainer. In this cataract, we can see how the cortex is aspirated and the nucleus properly fractured. Another simple and safe way to use the ultrasonic blade is making 4 to 6 grooves, as in divide and conquer technique, and then complete the fracture with a mechanical pre-chopper. The Ultra Chopper can be used in Argentinian flag as a challenging case. It can also be used in cataracts 2.5 plus or more. Other examples of challenging cases that cannot be fractured with other pre-choppers, or that it requires great skills of the surgeon to achieve it, can include the Morganian cataracts, the posterior polar cataracts, pseudoexfoliation, small pupils, phacomorphic, brunescents, and very hard cataracts. In this case of Morganian cataract, in which the nucleus is unstable, we can use the sustainer to hold the nuclei and fracture the posterior plate in 100% of depthness. The IFIS is a very challenging case since the pupil is very small and moving constantly. The strategy of this surgery is performing the grooves with the ultra chopper and with the use of a divisor in the left hand through the lateral incision, complete the fracture. The grooves must be deep and in the center without compromising the periphery to help achieve a good fracture of the cataract in order to emulsify it in the center without damaging the iris or the capsular rhexis ring. In cases of lens subluxation, they are a headache to the great majority of surgeons, even the very experienced ones, since the fractures of the cataract in these cases can enhance the dialysis. With the ultra chopper, we can make clear incisions without making traction to the sonule, turning it into a more safe procedure. We described a new technique that we entitled anti-blockage. This technique prevents posterior capsule rupture while performing the hydrodissection. We can describe it as follows. After capsulorhexis, we continue with a deep groove with the ultrasonic blade. Then we complete the division into two halves to communicate the opening and the capsulorhexis with the posterior capsule. At this moment, we proceed with hydrodissection. In this case of anti-blockage, we can see how the trypan blue flows in between the two halves, releasing the pressure over the posterior capsule. We now then can conclude that in our experience, the ultra chopper is effective, safe, and easy to use in all types of cataracts and for beginners in phaco surgery.